Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, you're welcome. Please consider subscribing to the channel so you can become a part of our family. If you're an old subscriber, what's up, and thank you so much for coming back. As always, I'm very grateful for you who always comes back to the channel. So what's up, how you guys doing? As for me, I'm okay. How is January treating you? Because I've been reading stories on the internet of how people are complaining about how January is too long and too dry, and sorry, I can't relate. So please tell me how your Januaries are doing wherever you are. So guys, this has been a long time coming. Oh my god, I have had questions on my in my inbox on Instagram. I've had questions about this in my emails, and then on the comment sections of my relocation vlog. So today I thought I should share with you guys my whole immigration journey and why I chose to move, and why Canada and all those things, because I've seen quite a number of questions on please tell us your immigration process, did you use an agent, all those things. I'm gonna share all that in this video. First, I would love to start by saying I am not an immigration lawyer, I'm not an immigration expert. Everything I'm going to mention is based on my own experience. It differs from one person to another. What happened for me might not be the same process for you. My process took quite a long time. For some people it could take longer, for some it could take shorter. So this is for me, this is what happened for me. I did not choose an agent, no. I collected all my documents together by myself and submitted them, replied to my emails, sent emails, made phone calls. So no agent was involved in this whole process of mine. And so where do I start? Let's start. Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, my process was one of the longest processes of, like, I've not had anyone who has had a long immigration process like mine. On the Canadian website, they tell you that the immigration process takes at the most 1 year. Mine took about 2 years before I got to Canada, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. Of course, obviously, number one is COVID. COVID happened along the way, offices closed. So at some point, everything just went quiet, and that was for quite some good months. So nothing happened within that time. But I got an email after that, and as I'm going to explain to you guys, you'll see how everything happened. So I've made a timeline. I've made a timeline of how everything happened. Outlined a few things here. So let me throw it back. Let me take us back to 2016 when I met my husband. Well, at that time he was just my boyfriend. So that time when I met Daniel in 2016, Daniel was working on his immigration process already when I met him. So around that time, me and him had a discussion about if I would be open to move to Canada. And I remember we talked in length about it. And sorry. And I told him I think it would be fine. So shortly after that, he got his permanent residence, his visa, and so he had to move. Now, he moved in 2016 around September, yeah, and so we started a long distance relationship. Now, as you know, long distance relationships are not a plate of rice and beans that you chew and you're like, no. So anyways, we were in a long distance relationship, end of 2016. He proposes to me in 2017. I said yes, story for another day. 2018, we start to organize for our wedding. Now, we knew that I was gonna move to Canada, and we knew that one of the most, I wouldn't say one of the easiest, because nothing about immigration is easy. So all I know is that the whole process is not easy. So we thought the spousal route was an easier option for us. So we knew we needed our marriage certificate as one of the requirements. So in 2018, in July 2018, we did our traditional marriage, we did our wedding, and so he flew back to Canada, and so we started the process of collecting, gathering all the documents that we needed together. Some of those documents that we had to gather were, let me see, obviously the marriage certificate. We needed a police report from Interpol to show that I'm not a criminal, and you know those things. So anyways, I had to get a report from Interpol. That took me some good time. As you know, things with Uganda, if you want to get your documents and stuff like that, so it was taking long and all that. We had to, kitu kidogo here and there, and then eventually we got that document. We had to apply for a certificate de selection du Quebec. It is like a certificate of selection for Quebec. So as you guys know, if you're in Canada, or if you're not in Canada, you must know Quebec is, personally, I would say it's like a country within a country, So with Quebec, if you want to move to Quebec, you have to first apply. It's like a visa to come to Quebec on its own before you can move here. So we had to apply for that. We had to make our payments for the application. So we needed to have the payment slip and all those things. So basically, from the whole of 2018 after our wedding was basically us getting all our documents together and stuff like that. Like I said, we didn't use an agent. We got all the information of whatever we needed online. So you can always get all this information online. For those of you who were asking me, do I need an agent? Do I need an agent to do this? You may or you may not. It's really up to you. I didn't use an agent, and you may not use an agent, or you may use an agent. I don't know. I've not used an agent before. I know people who have used agents and have succeeded. I also know people who have used agents and not succeeded. I know people who have done it on their own and succeeded, and I also know people who have done it on their own and have not succeeded. So it's really, I cannot say for sure you can do it on your own. For sure you need an agent. No, my case, I didn't need one, because all the information is online. All the information is on the internet. All the information is on Google. So after gathering all our information in 2018, every document that we needed, 2019 January, at the start of January, we submitted all our documents. I submitted all the documents that were needed, including the certificate of Quebec. By that time, I had gotten it back. So I included all those documents together and submitted it, plus our payment slip. I think it was $2,000 something. I don't remember well. I can't give you figures right now because these figures, I can't remember most of them, and I don't even know if they are still the same anyway, so I can't give you figures. But all that information is on the internet. Go to the website, you'll get every single information you may need. So anyways, submitted that in 2019 January, and then in February my husband came back home in February, and I'm only mentioning this because it is part of the whole process. So my husband came back in February to Kampala, and I got pregnant. Now, in March is when I got confirmation from IRCC that they had received all our documents, and there was nothing missing. So in April of the same year of 2019, that is a month after our confirmation, I got a call to go and do my biometrics. It was actually an email. So they sent me an email and asked me to go and do my biometrics and where I had to do my biometrics. I went and I did my biometrics at Civac in Kololo, Uganda. So that was in April. Then May passed, June, July, 2 months after doing my biometrics, they asked me to go and do my medicals. And by this time, I was 6 months pregnant. By the time they asked me to go and do my first medicals, I was ready. I was 6 months pregnant. I didn't know what was going to happen. But anyways, we still went. I had to inform them. Of course, they could see. I mean, I had those pregnancies where at 6 months you would think I had twins. Anyways, so the doctors had to include that in my report, in my file and everything, sent them back to IRCC. And then in September of the same year, I received an email from IRCC asking me to first give birth. They told me I would have to first give birth, and then I would have to inform them when the baby comes. I have to inform them so that they can add her to my file, So we just knew that is going to be a dead year. There's no way they're going to let me travel when I'm that. Because remember, at 6 months in July, that's when I was 6 months pregnant. I was 6 months pregnant in July. So July, August, September, that was already 8 months pregnant. So there was no way they were going to give me a visa when I'm 8 months pregnant. So in November, I had a baby. I had a beautiful baby girl. If you guys are old on the channel, you know Amara. If you're new on the channel, hi, what's up? Consider subscribing to the channel so you can become a part of this family. Anyways, so I gave birth to my daughter in 2019, November, and in that same month, we started looking at the process for getting her a Ugandan passport and getting her birth certificate, things like that you need to apply for her visa. So anyways, we applied for her passport, we got her birth certificate, and so we submitted the document and we informed IRCC that I had given birth, and they actually sent us back an email and told us to send those documents. So we submitted a copy of her passport and a copy of her birth certificate. Oh, on top of that, I also had to include her certificate of selection for Quebec. It was also very important. And then in 2020, mid-January, my medicals had expired already. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section if you know about these things. But I think these medicals expire after about a period of 3, 4, or 5 months. I don't know. Because every time my medicals went past about 5, 6 months, I had to redo them. You guys, I did medicals like 3 or 4 times. Let's get into it more. I'll tell you guys more. So in mid-January, they sent me an email to go and redo my medicals because apparently they had expired. Now I went to do my medicals, and in February, when I would expect to hear something from them, COVID happened. Serious COVID happened. We started hearing about the world closing down. Offices were closing down and all that kind of stuff. So from February, we went into a lockdown. I remember my country went into a lockdown around March, So for all that time, there was silence. There was silence from IRCC. There was literally silence everywhere. Even if I would send an email, when my husband tries to make a phone call, because now we were doing it both ways, he would call, I would send emails and all that. So no one would pick the calls. My emails would not be answered. All I would get were like those automated messages, like when you send an email and then they reply with an automated, like that's all I would get. So that happened from around February, March, April, May, June, July. Yes. So in July, a miracle happened. They asked me to take baby for her medicals. So I took baby for her medicals, and then from August and September I didn't hear back. 2 months later, after baby had done her medicals, they asked me to go back for my own medicals for the third time. This was the third time I was doing medicals, you guys. But anyways, I still went back. I did my medicals. That was in October. Yes, that was in October of 2020. I redid my medicals for the third time. Now, when I redid my medicals for the third time, then came November, then came December, then came January, then came February. Then came February, guys. So in February, they asked me to go back for my own medicals again. Apparently, my previous results, I don't know why it took them long to get back to me about that. My previous results, the x-ray that I did, as you guys know, if you go for the medicals, they'll take your blood, they'll take your urine, they'll do chest x-rays, they'll do eye tests, they also do physical tests to see your physical, how physically fit you are and stuff like that. So anyways, when I went back to IOM, because that's where we did our medicals, I went back to IOM and I asked why, like what happened. And so they say, the report came back from IRCC and they say we need to redo your medicals. Why? Because apparently there was something that they saw in my chest when they did my medicals that third time. And by this time I was already kind of like friendly with the doctor, the guy who was handling my file, the guy at IOM, the doctor guy who was handling the nurse or the doctor, I don't know if he was, I think it was a nurse. I think it was a nurse. So I was kind of like friendly with him. So I remember being in his office and we started talking about it, and I was trying to ask him to make me understand this whole something in my chest and all that. So he said most times when this happens, someone has TB, or if not, they've ever been in an accident, and so they need to investigate more. And I'm like, TB, I don't think I have TB. I've not been in contact, because all those questions he was asking, have you been in contact with anyone with TB? I'm like, no, I don't even know anyone who has TB. And so he says, okay, we are going to have to redo these tests, and then we'll come to a conclusion. But if we find you have TB, we have to put you on treatment, So that means you would have to come here every morning to pick your treatment. You'd have to leave your house every morning and come to IOM to get your treatment. Now, Canada does not allow in anyone that has tested positive for TB. So you would have to undergo treatment first, of which the treatment, I was told, sometimes takes up to 9 to 12 months. So you can only travel after you're done with your medication. Yeah. Now, when I was in Kampala, okay, my home in Kampala is on Entebbe Road. IOM is like on the other side of town, very long distance. By that time, I didn't have a car, so I literally had to either take an Uber or use a boda boda. Now, I had a little girl, a baby. So looking at all those things, it was kind of stressing me in that moment, because I was wondering, how am I going to be able to do all this, and stuff like that. So anyways, long story short, we did the tests, and I had to do this test that was supposed to be done 3 times consecutively. They would take my saliva. I think it was called a sputum collection, something like that. I don't remember the terms very well. Anyway, so I had to do them for 3 days consecutively, wake up very early in the morning, go to IOM, and cough, because I remember they used to tell us we want the saliva that comes from deep down down inside. So you had to like cough it out and then spit it in these small tubes, cover it, take it there like for 3 days. So I did that, and we had to wait for them, and that was in February of 2021. Yes, that's when I did all this. Now when I did that, I think around April or March or May, April or May, not March, around April or May, I don't remember this very well, but I received an email back from them, and basically they were confirming that my results were okay, I don't have TB, and all that, so I was good to go. Then in May, end of May, is when I received an email from IRCC confirming my Canadian permanent residence, and then they also asked me to submit our passports in that same May, in that same June. No, in June is when they confirmed. They sent me an information to confirm my permanent residence, and also to ask me to submit our passports. So in June, I submitted immediately. I didn't even wait. The moment I got that email, I was like, tomorrow, first things first, I'm submitting these passports. Anyways, so in June, I submitted our passports. When I submitted our passports, I thought it would take maybe a week or two before I receive back the passports. As you know, the Canadian embassy is in Dar es Salaam. We don't have one in Uganda. We don't have the embassy in Uganda. So I knew they would have to submit, to send my documents to Dar es Salaam. Dar es Salaam is just next to Uganda here. So I was thinking, maybe a week at the most, 2. I waited a week, passed 2, 3, 4. Then in the 5th week, I got a phone call from the Canada Visa Application Center. They asked me to go and pick our passports. So I went and picked our passports. One of the happiest days of my life. So anyways, I picked our passports in August. So inside the envelope, it was like a big brown envelope. So inside the envelope, there was our passports, there was our confirmation of permanent residence in like written form, like documents that we had to show at the point of entry into Canada, at the airport. That was the airport for us. We didn't use a ship or anything, we used a plane. So, and what else was there? Basically, welcoming notes, like when you get to Canada, these are the things you need to do, or these are the things basically briefing you on what to expect once you land in Canada and stuff like that. So those are the things that were in the documents. And then that was August, end of August. And then in September, we started booking our flights, and we booked our flights, and we got here in September of 2021. So guys, that there is my immigration story. That is what happened for me. It took quite a long time. It wasn't I had to put in a lot of time and money, because that thing is expensive, guys. It's so expensive, but we did it eventually and finally. So I'm so happy that I'm here, and for all your questions about if I used an agent, no, I didn't use an agent. And you can check all this. Like, don't let people kufera you. How do I say kufera in English? Don't let people rob you of your money. These are things you can research about yourself. You can do yourself. So these are things that you can do yourself with your own research. So go to the internet, Google these things. There are so many ways you can migrate to Canada right now. Canada is actually taking in immigrants. Canada is welcoming immigrants. So go to the website, read about these things, look at the qualifications if you qualify, because there are so many things that qualify you. One of them is your age, you know, your bank account, you know, it's very important how much money you have in your account. Other things are legal documents. You know, if you're a criminal, chances are they might not allow you to come into their country. Something else is, guys, there are so many things, but they're all doable things. They're all things that you have access to. You know, you have access to your legal documents in Uganda. If you go to Interpol, you know, and you're not a criminal, you must have that. I mean, they will not fail to give you those documents, you know. So these are all things that you can do as a Ugandan. I talk for Uganda because I'm Ugandan. I don't know what happens in Kenya. I don't know what happens anywhere else. So this, I'm saying it as a Ugandan. I know you can have access to all these documents that you may need. So read about it. Read about the different streams, you know, different ways to migrate to Canada. There are so many. It's not limited to what I used. I used the process I used because that was what was easiest for us at that moment. But if I had to do the express entry, if I had to go and do my IELTS, I would have done it. But the process that I went through didn't need the IELTS, you know. So go check these things out. You can do it, and I wish to see you guys all in Canada someday. Honestly, you know, for those of you that wish to come to Canada, it is doable. It is absolutely doable, guys. People are coming into this country almost every single day. You know, the government is letting in people, so you can absolutely get this visa. You can absolutely do it. And please leave me a comment down below if you have any more questions. I promise you guys, I'm going to come back on this same space and answer all those questions to the best of my knowledge. So yeah, remember, I'm not an immigration lawyer or an expert at these things. I only shared what my story is, what it was like for me. So it may be different for you, you know. So still, leave your comments. Please don't forget to like this video. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and you can share this video with someone that you think may want to hear about my immigration story, because sharing is caring, you know. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. You know, my IELTS, or I don't know how people call them, IELTS, I don't know, IELTS. If I had to go and do my IELTS, I would have done